was Sie wollen mit Matt und Julia? Ist das, was Sie wollen? Is this what you want?
Oh, hello everybody, and welcome back. It has been 2 long weeks since we have talked to you, and welcome back to the podcast that we love so much and that you love. It's called Is This What You Want with Matt and Julia. I'm Julia, Yvonne Chapman-Ladkowitz, and sitting next to me is my husband, my lover, the zit to my pus? I don't know. That's disgusting. It's Matt O'Brien, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm a zit.
The zit to my pus. I guess the pus is the zit.
You're inside me, ready to explode out of me, destroying me, and then I scab over and fade away into nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
The pus gets out there. The pus is, that's the moneymaker. That's the one that gets shit done. Spreads more acne. Yeah, there's nothing. Or is the zit the pus end? I picture the zit as the casing.
Yeah, the zit is the casing.
Yeah, that's what a zit
and the
is.
pus. Well, a zit is the pus. The zit is nothing without the pus, and the pus is nothing without the zit.
Well, then why are certain things like an abscess or a cyst? Does that have different flavors of pus?
I think there's different flavors of pus in that, and it's caused by something different. But
I see.
I feel like a zit can turn into an abscess if it gets infected and not treated properly.
Yeah, and then ingrown hair is an ingrown hair, but it looks like a zit sometimes. But it can cause a zit, but it's an ingrown hair.
It can cause a zit, and it could also potentially be an abscess.
Listen, I was going to put a screeching halt to this conversation, but part of me was like, there are so many shows on TLC that are like Dr. Pimple Popper or Ear Hair Tweezer MD.
Yeah, Ear Hair Tweezer MD. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I don't like the really gnarly pimple popper stuff, but some of it is there's something in like the way that I need to pluck your ear hairs. Like there's something so satisfying about getting something gross off of a body.
Yes.
But when it's other
agree.
people and it's really gross, I'm like, I can't.
That's like when you see someone with a skin tag. That's very easily fixable, is it not? Like you can get a kit to freeze it off, or go to a doctor, probably covered.
You can get something depending on the size of the skin tag. You can get something at the pharmacy, and it'll do it. You know what? I think I have a tiny skin tag under my armpit, so maybe that's a project for you.
That's where I get them sometimes. Yeah. That's my last one was, and I think I just went.
Well, I'm not going to rip it off.
Yeah. I twisted. I went.
Yeah. It didn't bleed?
Not really. I don't know. I think it was.
Mine doesn't look like it would just.
It was like a ripe apple ready for the plucking.
Plucking? Yeah.
I guess my body is some sort of flesh apple tree.
Yeah, it's purging.
The dog is pressing her full
apples.
asshole against my arm, and I've never been more upset.
There's something about this dog. Every time we start the podcast, she just starts digging incessantly. I don't know if you can hear that.
I think she doesn't like when we both just talk to each other. She's like, how dare you not also make noises at me?
Yeah, when we kiss, she barks at us. She literally screams at us when we kiss.
This dog is tearing this part up. They're tearing this bed apart. It's terrorizing.
It's just, so much has happened. Sorry for the delay, by the way.
Sorry.
I said sorry.
I know, but sorry also for the Canadians.
Sorry. Je m'excuse for the delay.
What's one more sorry from a different language? German Wiedersehen. No, that's bye.
Dobre, that's hello. Or
what's another sorry? Oh, what's like Spanish?
We should
know
God,
that.
why don't I know Spanish?
Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Sí, and oh no.
Alexa, how do you say sorry in Spanish?
Lo siento.
Lo siento?
Lo siento.
I don't hear that one very often, and maybe it's because I'm the problem. I've been yelled a lot of Spanish things. Gringo for the most part.
Yeah,
I've
nobody's
never
ever
heard that
saying
one.
Lo siento, gringo.
Yeah, sorry, gringo. I'd like to hear that once. Just, well, that's the thing, because, when I order Mexican food or order from a taco truck, it always comes out perfect for the most part. And even if it's slightly off, you're like, I'm ordering from a bus. Who cares? What, is there something on the dog's face? She's got fuzz all over because she was digging at this bed.
Yeah, sorry. She just had a giant fuzz right on her eyeball, and I literally just slooped it out.
Yeah. We got to keep eyes on this dog. This dog's been a real handful.
There's so much that's been going on with us, with the dog, with everything. And little update on the dog, on Lil Shange. She got, we think she got like a rose thorn to the head, or a little bug bite, perhaps.
Forehead injury. I brought her in from the backyard, and she's been known to go cruising into the bushes.
She goes in the bushes. She chases lizards.
Yeah, there's lizards in there. There's noises. I get it. It's like, remember being a kid and you were like going through the bushes or like going through like clothing racks in a department store?
Yeah.
That's very exciting. And whenever she's in there, I'm like, oh, this is her Kmart clothing rack.
Yeah, she gets to burrow and
she likes to burrow and get in there.
Treasures.
She comes out. One time she had a thorn in the middle of her forehead like a unicorn, and I boink. It
wasn't very deep, obviously.
No, it wasn't. And then she was fine. But that day, I brought her back in from the backyard, and then I looked over, and I could see a lump, literally like cartoonishly coming out of her forehead.
But it was so it was very shallow lump. It was
very
like a flat, circular, almost just like a penny, or a dime, like very thin.
It was very subtle, and it was kind of sunken in the middle. And we're like, well, I don't know what this is. We thought it was ringworm. And we're like, well, how'd she get ringworm on her forehead? Is she diving head first into my gotchis?
Is that how you get
my
ringworm?
Sweaty gotchis?
Ew, gross.
Well, it's like a sweat, it's...
I think it's also from contaminated other animals, like them using, water bowls at dog parks, etc.
Yeah, you could get it from like a gym mat or something too.
But as soon as we sent this to our veterinarian
I hope
friends...
this dog's not doing Greco-Roman wrestling when we're not looking.
Imagine?
With her face.
She would Greco-Roman
You would
wrestle
Greco-Roman wrestle.
So we showed our vets, our respective vets that we have on speed dial, and they're like, no, that doesn't look like ringworm, but if it doesn't go away, bring it to the vet, which
that was my first time DMing our vet on Instagram with this. I was freaking out. I was a little high. And I was like, Gil, I'm so sorry for this. He was in Colombia at the time. This guy gets around.
Yeah.
He's quite successful. But
also, he's ripped. He's always just on a boat somewhere in his gotchis.
He's shredded and ready to fucking party, yet also he wants to save every animal's life. Also, side note, when you call his veterinarian service, the hold music is just a woman gushing about Gil.
Yeah, about how good he is.
Because I thought it was just some random. I thought it was like, this is probably a hold music from every vet office. But there's a part where it's like, Gil loves intrusive surgery. He wants to get inside your animal and figure out what's going on.
It says Gil likes intrusive surgery.
It was similar. It's like he loves a complicated problem and he loves figuring stuff out, even if it means intensive surgery.
Gil loves... anyway, that's hilarious.
Which makes me think, I'm like, every time we bring the dog, he's just looking at her, licking his lips like, oh, I'd love to crack this one open.
Just want to crack this melon open.
I want to see what's going on.
But so anyway, the bump would get bigger, but honestly, it did not bother her. You'd poke it, she's just like, whatever. And we were cleaning it, disinfecting it. So we brought her to the vet, and basically he had to remove the scab and the hair. So then it honestly looked at first like when a cartoon gets bopped on the head with a mallet, and then it just goes, and it gets that pink sort of chicken skin. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got pink chickens. It looks like her brain is trying to escape her skull a little bit. Like she's been thinking too hard and went...
Because it got so whatever bit her or bonked her got infected, and so now she's on antibiotics and has a little ointment. So we're monitoring it.
It was either a bug bite or I guarantee it was a rose thorn. Those things are sharp as hell, and one probably had some weird gunk on it or something. I don't know.
So we're monitoring it. Hopefully it's nothing more serious, but it's just having a dog with a little injury like that, even though it wasn't bothering her. The other day, I just kind of looked at it and I just started bawling because I'm like,
you don't
I
want
don't know
to happen to your child.
what I would do without this thing around.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that for a bit. We got to get her a little hat of some sort. I want a little top hat.
I know, because we're going home to Ottawa for our early kind of Christmas holidays. So she's going to be on all these photos.
She's going to ruin Christmas with that head, with her head wound.
She'll never ruin Christmas.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Here's my dog and her giant head wound.
It's already looking better.
It's definitely looking better than it was. We do have to lotion it twice a day, and she gets antibiotics as well twice a day. Quit poking. Don't touch it.
There's just a weird part now. Anyway.
It's funny because he had to pluck the hairs out of it. He's like, the hairs came out real easy. Also, she was very chill about it. This dog freaks out for everything, but a strange man is plucking hair out of your head.
Yeah, plucking hair out of her scab. She's
literally plucking her like a fresh chicken.
Speaking of fresh chickens, let's get loose because it's Chappy Hour, everybody.
It is. It's the only Chappy Hour on planet Earth dedicated to the worst robot movie of all time.
The only Chappy Hour? I think it's the only Chappy Hour.
Yeah, it's the only one. Well, No, there might be another Chappie Hour, like somewhere.
Chappie Hour? What are you, French Canadian?
In some Chappie Hour.
Hour?
In maybe some other country where there's a guy named Chappie, like a pilot, a local whimsical pilot. Oh, it's Chappie Hour. Let's all remember Chappie, the whimsical pilot that
Why is
used
he
to come.
pilot?
He sounds like a chap. That's a good pilot name.
Chappie.
Like a
Hey,
guy
Chappie.
he'd fly one of those single propeller
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
two
yeah,
level
yeah.
wings, and he's like, I can take you all the way to the Antarctica, but
And
not
he
back.
wears goggles and like a leather helmet.
Yeah, and he eats a sandwich while he flies too, and the toppings go flying everywhere.
The toppings?
The
What kind of
toppings.
sandwich does he eat?
It's a big chunky sandwich, and the tomatoes are flying out, but you're like, oh, it was cheap. This is what happens.
Oh, it's cheap.
It was cheap. Chappie is cheap. Also, he's a little drug. Here's what happens. He takes a bite of the sandwich, and 2 of the tomato slices come out of the sandwich and hit you
right in the eyes. But then they sort of cool your eyes, and you're like, oh, they're
Yeah.
like cucumber slices.
You know what? And you're like, I'm getting an in-flight meal from Chappie himself.
So it's Chappie Hour, and we're chapping a Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley. And
You heard of it?
we recently got this at Costco today. It's quite nice.
Yeah, we took a dip. We went for a dip into Costco. Expensive one. What was it? $4.11?
Oh God, it was an expensive dip into Costco.
Yeah.
We had some things we had to get that were staple items that we needed to be purchased.
I made the biggest Costco faux pas you can make.
Oh yeah.
In that I got, instead of a paper towel and a toilet paper, I got 2 paper towels.
Different brands, just 2 paper
Different
towels.
brands. I was thrown off by the toilet paper section today. There was a big to-do in the toilet paper section. You should have saw it. There was a new brand of toilet paper that was being introduced there called Marathon.
That's what I thought you were getting. You're like, there's a new brand of toilet paper. So I'm
And
like,
I
oh,
think-
he got this new one.
Because the colors on that are the same colors as this paper towel. And I think I was staring at that and I grabbed this and my brain thought it was the same.
I was so excited for this new toilet paper.
I know. And people were flocking to it. It was
Probably because
crazy.
it was a good price too.
But it was because the Costco brand is $19.99. And then there's Charmin, which is, I think, $29.
What?
Crazy. But then this Marathon was like 22 or 23. So I think people
But
were
marathon, maybe it's more durable. It's like it's like running a marathon in your ass.
like, maybe. It said 2-ply. Do we get 2-ply usually?
I think so.
I feel like we usually have 1 more ply.
That's excessive. You don't need all the plies.
No, you think that until you don't have all your plies. Like when you're in a hotel and it's just that sneeze of
Okay,
toilet
well, the
paper.
1 ply is rude. 2
Yeah.
plies is good. 3 plies, a bit excessive. It
If-
clogs up the old pipes.
You can hold up a piece of toilet paper to the sun and you can see the sun on the other side. I don't want to use it.
Okay, so you literally want to wipe your ass with a thick bath mat then.
Like a bath mat, like a scarf.
Ew.
Think there's someone out there that doesn't use toilet paper? They just use like fabrics every time.
Sure.
Probably like there's a king in Saudi Arabia or something, one of those oil countries, and he's so rich. And he's
Or
like,
a place where they don't have running water and they don't have toilet paper and they're just using their little fucking. It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
you know what? I take that back immediately because they do that in bidet countries. Mm-hmm. They have
They have a little
bidets
poo
and
rag.
they have a poo rag,
There you go.
which
Mystery.
mystery solved.
Solved.
How often are you changing that poo rag though?
Not enough.
I'm probably
It's
once.
like people with like hankies, like disposable hankies.
Man, my grandpa used to have
Me too.
a handful, like not even just one in his pocket. And they were like old shirts too.
Yeah.
Like old plaid shirts. So he'd pull out one and then there'd be like a more coming with it, like a clown.
Like a clown.
Yeah.
It makes sense though.
But I wonder if he looked at his shirts and he was like, I can't wait till that becomes a hanky.
Well, you use it until it, disintegrates and then you repurpose it. That is something that is to be said about the older generations. They waste not, want not. They did repurpose things.
But it might rewire your brain if you're using shirt fabric for a hanky. And then he like saw it and he was like, certain shirts, he's like, I'd love to blow my nose on that. Oh, that feels so nice. He's just he can't have conversations with people. He's just like, I'd love to blow my nose on
Love
that
to
shirt.
blow my nose on your.
Oh, what is that? A denim jacket? I've never tried that before. He just becomes obsessed with different fabrics and blowing his nose on them. That's a superhero for you.
Mr.
Blow man.
Blow. Wait, so he blows his nose on your fabric, but what's his superpower?
That he gets away with it.
Oh, ew! I just got snotted, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, you're like, why is my shirt wet? And then all you hear is, and there's a
Ew.
guy pip, 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 pip down the
That's
street.
the grossest. Just you have a snot-covered shirt, and you don't know how it happened until you're
Yeah.
like, blow, man.
That's Yeah, that's one of the worst villains out there.
That's
Blowman
disgusting.
snotting across the city. Anyway,
Listen, tons has happened since we last talked to you. It was my birthday.
have we not talked since New Orleans?
No, we haven't. We literally on my birthday we flew to New Orleans,
Wow.
and we've had a grand old time since then.
Best food I ever ate.
Gosh darn, it was good. Also,
Even the littlest stuff, like the biscuits. I know biscuits are very good down there, but you're like, I got a breakfast sandwich at a place, and the biscuit was the highlight.
Yeah.
But the toppings inside were the highlight too. It was
both
so
biscuits
good.
we had were like homemade,
Fantastic.
fresh, like warm the day of. Even like the most whatever food was like the best food. Where we're like, yeah, we'll just grab a quick lunch here or like a quick bite here. I'm like, this is We got a bagel one morning at a place, and
Very
Matt's
good.
like, why is this bagel amazing? I'm like, I don't know.
Something's in the ingredients over there in Louisiana. It's everything is made from the heart, perhaps. Well, but that's because everyone's so nice out there. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you today because I am coming to the realization that LA is really grinding me down emotionally, and because everyone sucks.
Everyone does suck.
The odd person, you'll find a nice one. Sure, there's nice people. For the majority, when you're out on the roads, everyone sucks.
And also when you're just in restaurants or bars or whatever, there's just this attitude and this suspicious quality, and like, who are you and what do you want from me and why are you talking to me? Whereas in New Orleans, you're like, everybody, to the Lyft drivers, to the like an elevator operator, to another tourist there, anybody,
Elevator
bartenders.
operator. I don't think we had one elevator
Listen,
operator.
I blanked and I said elevator operator.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was pushing the buttons.
Yeah, and you were the worst part.
No.
But like, everybody was just so nice, and everybody strikes up a conversation with you. So many interactions.
Lots of interactions.
Love an interaction.
Yeah, my guard was up at first because I'm like, the hotel front desk lady, I was like, she's kind of giving attitude, but in a way that I love her.
It wasn't so much attitude as
sternness.
it was just like, it was like a no nonsense. All right, you're checking in, you're doing this, and you'd be like, hey, because they had like real keys at this hotel, and if you lost it, it was like $250 to replace, and they were huge. So they recommend that you leave it at the front desk when you leave. So we're like, hey, can we leave our key with you? Yeah, sure, why not?
Why not? She kept
Why
saying.
not? Let's do it.
Hey, do you know the directions to the restaurant around the corner? Sure, why not? Okay.
Can I leave my bags
I
in
don't
the
know.
front desk? Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. You have a nice day. Be safe now. And you're like,
It
was so stern, but
Yeah.
like also like maternal.
Sure, why not makes it sound like she's part of whatever I'm doing too. It's like,
Yeah.
sure, why not? And it's like, are you coming with us? I don't understand.
Yeah, and then everybody would ask you what you had planned for the day, whatever. It was just, I love it there.
Just to give you a comparison of customer service there and in LA,
Oh
what
my
happened to me today
God.
was I got back in the car. I'm like, this is one of the craziest interactions I've had with any human being. I had to drop off an Amazon package for returning, and it was at a Petco for some reason, just at the front desk of a Petco.
Yeah.
People are literally buying crickets, and I have like old Christmas lights that don't work. It was really weird. And I get to the front desk, and this woman's unwrapping a Jolly Rancher, and it falls on the counter, and she goes, oh, God, not today. Kill me. Kill me. Give me a disease. Give me cancer right now. And then she scoops up the Jolly Rancher, puts it in her mouth. I'm like, oh, rough day, huh? And she's like, I've done a lot of stuff in my life. She's like, I've done a lot. I shouldn't even be here. I'm a witness protection. I shouldn't even be talking. Every time I cross the border, she's like, people just have to know the things I've done in my life. And I'm like literally like watching her try to return my thing.
Meanwhile, I'm in the parking lot we have the four ways on because there was nowhere to park. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is going on in there?
It was crazy. And then she was going on about how she's like, don't hang out with the cartel. Whatever you do, don't hang out with the cartel.
And didn't she say something about like
Oligarchs.
Oh yeah, she's like, don't get on the wrong side of oligarchs. Don't hang out
What's
with
an oligarch? I don't even know what that means. Is that some sort of Catholic bishop?
An oligarch is oh God, I know what an oligarch is. I just can't.
Is it a religious-y thing?
No, it's keep talking. Keep talking about this one.
Anyway, she was going off, and I was trying to riff with her because I'm like, maybe she's being funny. And she clearly had this speech already pre-written in her head, and she was just kind of talking at me about these things. And I even said out loud, I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot here. This is heavy stuff. And then she was like, never trust oligarchs. Never trust the cartel. Don't hang out with the cartel. What's an
Oligarchy, a small group of people having control over a country, organization, or institution. I think it's when it's like, I don't think it's as like intense as a dictator.
Yeah.
But like, it ain't good.
Well, according to the woman accepting my Amazon return at Petco, I should not hang out with these people. So I tell you, I didn't get that in Louisiana. I didn't go many places today, but one of the 2 to 3 customer service interactions I had was the craziest of my life.
That's
I
actually
sprinted
wild.
out of there. You saw me running.
I saw
across.
you running.
I was like, let's get out of here. This is Pasadena, too. This is a safe, nice area.
Then I'm like, do we tell us, is she okay? What is happening? Like, that is the craziest thing. Also, if you are in witness protection, you're not supposed to be saying that.
I think she's over it. Depending on where they put you. Maybe she's in a shitty house. Maybe it's full of cats or something.
God. And then she's like, ugh, and what am I doing? Like eating a Jolly Rancher off of a counter, and you're
Yeah.
like, at least it's not a floor.
It's
She's like, it's whatever, it's the same. She's like, dirty ass dog was just on the counter.
Yeah, she's like, dirty dog, and his dirty paws were all over this counter. Now I'm eating a Jolly Rancher of it. I was like, well, have a good afternoon. I'm off to Costco. We have different problems. So that's what L.A. is like. Whereas Louisiana, very nice, very pleasant. All the food is great.
So much good jazz. We saw a lot of great live music.
Right in our hotel, too. If you're planning on going to New Orleans, here's a hot tip for you. Pontchartrain has a bar called Bayou Bar. And it was fantastic. And it was jazz people we would see at other bigger venues around town, but it was a more intimate, smaller venue.
And there's no cover charge, which is great. Also, I loved it, because it was right in our hotel. And also, like, the vibe there was so great. And we met so many people that they're like, oh, we live in New Orleans, but we come here all the time. Because
Locals go there.
Locals go there. And what I didn't know was in New Orleans, when it's your birthday, if you pin $1 to your lapel, people know it's your birthday. So then they give you more money, and they're supposed to buy you drinks. And I didn't know this until, like, basically my birthday was done. But then some guy at the Bayou Bar found out, and then he's like, no, it's your birthday week. You're doing this every day. And then he gave me money, and then he bought me a drink.
It worked everywhere, too. We went to a dirty old convenience store at, like, midnight, and a bunch of fucking sketchy people were like, birthday! And they're, like, pinning money on you.
It was the best. We went to play Video Parker.
Video Parker.
We were hammered, and people, like, literally a woman with one tooth was like, birthday! And I was like, I love you.
She took out her tooth and put it in your palm and said, you need this more than I do. And you were like, absolutely not.
It was a good time. I love New Orleans, although it destroyed my stomach and butt.
Both of us, we, I don't know how we can avoid that, because maybe drinking less, but
I think
it's the food. It's just the being out. I feel like our bodies have to adapt to different tap water. There's a lot of factors.
I don't think the tap water is the issue. I think it's
weird.
I think we need to have, like, okay, we're having like oatmeal for breakfast. We're having something that has fiber in it.
Yeah.
Because we were just eating oysters, and it's not even like we were eating that much, but when we ate, it was,
Yeah, there was like 1 or 2 days where I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe we ate all that. But other than that, we did pretty. I've never eaten so many oysters in my life. That's not usually an oyster guy, but I didn't mind slurping on those fucking.
There's some
pieces
really good
of shit.
some really good happy hour oysters. Ugh, I just love a deal.
Yeah,
we love a deal.
It's a good deal. It was a good trip.
Well, now that we're all jacked up on
what?
Actually, now that we're talking about food stuff, I want to talk about a little news story I just saw.
What'd you see?
Okay, first of all, do you say Ina Garten or Ina Garten?
I don't know what these words are in conjunction with each other. Is this a person?
Yeah, the Food Network host, Ina Garten.
Is she?
She's the one that
is that Barefoot Contessa?
Yeah, Barefoot Contessa.
Okay, you could just say Barefoot Contessa.
Okay, the Barefoot.
Her name's Ina.
It's Ina.
Ina Garten.
Garten.
Garten. Ina Garten. No wonder she goes by Barefoot Contessa.
Well, she goes by her name.
Wait, who's Contessa? Why is she not wearing socks? Is that like an old kitchen thing? Contessa's like an old barefoot kitchen person?
There's is the Contessa the female of a count? No, that's a countess.
Barefoot Countessa. Does this go back to barefoot and pregnant back in the day. It's like you're supposed
I don't
to
know.
be
Look up what a
barefoot in
Contessa is, because I got to talk. But so yeah, I just saw a little news story about. I guess she's coming out with like a memoir. She's very popular, and
course.
I've always liked her. And
An Italian countess.
there you go.
Huh.
So I was right, kind of.
Where'd her fucking shoes go, dude?
I don't know. She's fucking slopping around.
Contessa, where'd your fucking shoes go? Put some socks on.
I hate you. So I guess they were asking her about like kids. And
Does she not have kids?
No, she doesn't have kids.
Good
but
for her.
But she's like always talking about her husband, and she loves him and making him little bonbons. And she basically was like, well, my childhood is definitely not something I wanted to recreate.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened there, but she was also talking about how her like mom wouldn't let anybody in the kitchen because she liked to be there alone. So she's like, that made me want to be in the kitchen more because I was never allowed to be. She's like, also like my mom was always on diets and stuff. So sometimes it's like we could never have butter. Like an apple was her idea of a dessert. It's crazy how much like diets and diet culture throughout the years has affected generations of women. Because like I remember as a kid, my mom being on diets and stuff. I was on diets in like high school, and that's why I kind of buck against any of that now. Even when I'm like, oh, I have gained a bit of weight or whatever, but I'm like, I refuse to count calories and be that way again, because I'm working out more than I did 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And I'm healthier in some ways, but that's
why they keep saying, they're like, just do it to feel good.
Yeah.
Like, it's harder to get. I read an interview with Paul Rudd. You know, the Rudd man. And he was talking about his diet and workout routine for the latest Ant-Man. And he was like, it was so hard and it barely affected me.
Yeah.
He was like, I did so much. I ate nothing. He said with this diet, he's like, it was very simple foods, plain, boring. But his dietitian would treat him every now and then to a sparkling water. Like that would be the treat. A flavorless sparkling water.
Why can't you just have that regularly?
I don't know. I think it was to trick the brain into being like, this is a good treat because you haven't had it in a while.
It's like when people are on these crazy diets and then they're like, oh, actually this gluten-free cracker I found, they're actually really delicious. And it's like, no, it's because you're so deprived that that tastes like fucking food to you. Yeah. This girl, it was a friend of a friend. This was like 15 years ago. And she used to put salt on spinach as a snack.
Good God. What a nightmare.
An actual nightmare. But anyway, I read this article and I do really want to read her memoir when it comes out. But she's had a very interesting life, and a lot of her success happened later in life, and she's taken some big chances.
I'm very curious.
But there's this one quote that I wanted to read for everybody, and I think it's good for us and for anybody, really. She's like, everybody wants to know, where am I going to end up? Forget where you're going to end up. You don't know where you're going to end up. All you know is that if you jump in the pond and you splash around, while you're there, you're going to go, oh, that's really interesting over there. I think I'll follow it there and see where it brings you.
That's nice.
And that's all we can do. Because have your little goals and have your little goals and your little 3-year plans or whatever the fuck you want, but opportunities don't present themselves until you splash around in a little pond somewhere.
This is basically an elongated version of the shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll hit a star.
Yeah, but that's so
but
vague.
Then you still want a piece of that sweet, sweet moon.
Give me the moon.
Give me the fucking moon, dude.
Give me the moon.
What if I called the U.S. government and was like, give me the fucking moon? Give me the moon.
I wouldn't know what to do with the moon. It would be overwhelming.
Well, first of all, you can't even get there to deal with it. Even if they're like, sure, it's all yours. You're like, God damn it.
Hey, can I have a ride to the moon?
Can I borrow a vehicle?
Give me a ride to the moon.
It's mine.
Anyway, I thought that was very interesting and like just a nice little. It's not really a slice of news, but it's something
I'd like to learn more about these television chefs that we watch so generously. Maybe not Bobby Flay. I feel like I don't want to know too much about that guy. He looks like he smells like cologne. It's like, hey, Bobby, easy on the cologne. We're trying to make food. He looks very, very scented. I
can't tell if I find him repulsive or attractive, and that intrigues me.
Well, because his face is the same face as the Mad Magazine man. It's like, very kind of crunched in, and me worry.
It's very much that, and it's also like but also when Mo Sizlak gets handsome.
Yes, he's handsome Mo. He is handsome Mo.
Yeah.
You figured it out. Because he's no Sizzlax under the surface there, bubbling. But still, the outside's fine.
And he can cook, and he just has this like assertiveness to him.
You know what I didn't like about that handsome Mo episode? He gets like buffer immediately with his face.
Yeah.
It's like he should still have Mo's body.
Listen.
But you know what?
None of it makes sense.
Thinking about it now, I think he does get like a new ass and stuff. I think he gets like implants everywhere. And then I guess the end of the episode, he gets them sucked out. He can't afford. No, he gets in an accident, and then it makes him ugly again. It makes him look exactly the same. He loses all his implants. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the Handsome Mo episode,
20-year-old episode.
Handsome Mo.
Oh gosh, you know what?
What?
Unless you have another like fun news thing you want to talk about.
Oh man, what have I been seeing in the news lately? A lot of crime. Paying attention to the crime in LA. It's very exciting stuff. It's making me more and more worried for our place. Getting our security in line. Sometimes I'll lie in bed and fantasize that I hear somebody breaking in and that I like karate them through our house. Like I have a huge John Wick style fight scene and you're with Shan's going crazy, but you're in the bedroom. I tell you to stay in there. I'm yelling at you, but I'm fighting this guy and I'm really giving it to him. And then I kick him out in the front lawn, and that's exactly when the cops show up. And they go, holy shit, I can't believe this guy did this. And then I'm on the news, and it goes viral. Stand-up comedian, John Wick's a guy in his own house. That's like a full thought I've had with the last 30 seconds of me being away for a day. Like, man, what if somebody's like just John Wick and a guy?
I picture that more when I'm like out and about, or if someone like attacks me, and then I just like, Kaya. You Kaya? Caillou? Kya. Yeah, I have those fantasies a lot.
There should be an escape room business, but it's for John Wicking a guy through a house. It's a guy.
So it just lets you John Wick a guy?
It lets you John Wick a guy. He's in there. You have this whole break-in fantasy role play thing, and then obviously he's padded up, but you can like throw him into tables.
Do you know what's crazy? This isn't this at all, but we had a self-defense course in gym class gym class once. I think it was the 10th grade, maybe the 11th grade. And we had a guy come in who was like a professional self-defense whatever coordinator who, first of all, told us the most this is before trigger warnings, and just the most horrendous stories of women just getting brutalized and
God.
of like how to protect yourself or whatever. And
well, maybe it was to make you listen more.
I guess so, but already we're like, oh. And he's like, things that you can do to get out of certain situations. And then he's like, all right, now, and they put some pads down, but they're like, all right, now we're all just going to walk around and randomly I'm going to attack one of you.
That's terrifying. How old were you?
Like 14, 15?
That's way too young. This guy had an alternate agenda.
I don't think so. Because he
did attack one of you?
He attacked all of us.
Oh, did you get attacked by this guy?
Attacked. And he's like, do your worst. Like things that I literally like pounding on this guy.
You were hitting him?
I was hitting him, beating the shit or trying like, and he wasn't hurting like you or whatever, but he would, do these moves that they do.
What if some girl tried to gouge his eyes out?
Well, he's like, don't do that.
Would he stand there and be like, ha, well, you bested me. Now you're the teacher. Oh, now you have to walk around and attack everyone.
Now you attack the next girl and remove her eyes.
That's very risky on his
is.
behalf. A lot could go wrong.
Like, we were all beating the fucking shit out of the guy, just going nuts, not using any of the techniques he really taught us. But what they do say is the power with ladies is in their legs, because he's like, I've seen like women, if you can get your feet underneath them, he's like, I've seen like men be like thrown through like windows.
Wow, like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so
you're saying every woman is Spider-Man.
So I got to John
down.
Wick that man a little bit, but isn't that? It's so weird, but just the feeling of like it could happen at any moment, and it does, and that is the feeling as a woman that I have walking around late at night in certain areas or whatever. It's not the same pit in my stomach because it's like one of those things When you know someone's chasing you, or it's you without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to happen, and
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, but when? And it's even though you know it's fake and it's not a real predator, it's just God.
It's a lot. That's a lot. Anyway, if anyone wants to invest in my John Wick room idea, I actually, the more I'm thinking about it in the back of my head, I think it's a great idea. I'm sure it probably exists in some stunt
So yeah,
training
just
course or
stunt people
something.
get to get tossed around, but you'd have to.
No,
assign
I think I'm
somewhere.
actually describing police training. I think because police training, they take you through that town where you got to shoot the right.
Oh, so it's like dummies and stuff that you'd shoot, not like an actual.
No,
man.
mine would be a guy.
Okay,
Mine is a guy. I mean,
but who's this guy?
some fucking poor man.
No, the guy has to be
John
protected.
Wick. Yeah, he's obviously good, but he's padded up, and you get to throw him into stuff. I just love to pick up a guy and throw him on a table, and the table just like just throw a guy like through like a glass, where you keep your fine china.
Yeah, but have him be okay, and have the China be okay.
Yeah, he'll be okay. We sign a lot of papers before it.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Listen, there's a lot of jobs out there for people. If you're willing to hold a sign for an income tax place dressed as the Statue of Liberty,
There's a lot that's different between holding a sign and getting chucked through a fucking China cabinet.
yeah, more money. More money if you want to get John Wicked in my John Wick reenactment memorial.
You know who I want to chuck through a China cabinet?
Oh.
Well, you'll find out next on Well, That Was Stupid.
Well, I guess we're going into the segment, Well, That Was Stupid, where something stupid happened this week. Well,
That Was Stupid.
What fucking happened this week?
So much stupid stuff has happened. I can't even keep track. But the most recent stupid thing is your girl, Julia Ladkowitz, that's me, got hacked.
Yeah, that's
My
pretty dumb.
email address got hacked. I have one that's attached to my website, which is julia@juliacomedy.com. This guy, I wake up one morning and Matt's like, I think he got hacked because the email was like,
It was like, I need your help.
it was like, hello, this is Julia. I need your help? Question mark.
And it was, each little word was like, it was like, hello, space, enter, enter, enter.
Yeah.
I need favor.
And there was question marks.
A lot of question marks.
And I was like, oh God. And so I was like, okay, let's get into my email address, try to change the password. And I was having trouble changing the password because I think he'd already gotten in there and done something. And eventually I was like, you know what? Let's shut down this entire email. And it sucks because I'm like, I lose everything associated with it. And there was a lot there that I probably should have combed through before, but I'm like, I don't care. I just want
wanna
this
get rid of
done.
it. That's what I did with mine too. My website email got hacked, and it was so frustrating. I was just like, fucking delete it all.
Just
Who
delete it all.
cares?
I don't use it that much
What am
anymore.
I walking around with 2 emails?
Exactly.
Get out of here.
And because and also it was on like Outlook Express. Like it was just
It
such
was
a
disgusting. I used your interface for it was putrid.
terrible. And it used to not be that, and then it changed. Anyway, long story short, I called GoDaddy. I'm like, just get rid of it. And I'm like, okay, finally. And everybody's like, did you get hacked? And it's funny because some people message me, like comedy bookers that never respond to my emails, like DM'd me being like, hey, were you hacked or do you actually need help? I'm like, oh no, I was hacked. And they're like, well, at least I have your email now. Please stay in touch. I'm like, bitch, you always had my email and I was always staying in touch. I was touching
Who knew
you.
that was how to get booked on a comedy show in LA? Help. Literally just being like, help me. I'm dying.
Anyway, so I did that. And then today my friend Georgia calls me. She works for our immigration lawyer and was like, hey, our lawyer keeps getting emails from you. Like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, that was a while ago, but I deleted that email. She's like, okay. I'm like, wait, did she get another one? I'm like, that's impossible. I deleted the email. This motherfucker took my contact list and made a whole new email address.
He's persistent. I think he's earned it at this point. Let him have it.
So he made a
Let him be you.
juliacomedy@gmail.com, which,
Yeah.
guess what? Would have loved to make that email instead of YCH now. 'Cause was I not just talking about making, I'm like, I'm just going to make a separate Gmail that's my professional Gmail now. And I was going to do juliacomedy@gmail.
It's possible this guy's a genius because now you're like, fuck, I should have had that. And maybe he's going to like hold it ransom being like, you should give me money if
I
you
don't
want
need it
this.
that badly.
I mean, that's the
also,
thing.
here's the thing. Maybe he's one of my followers. Maybe he's listening to this right now.
Maybe it's me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Why though, Matt? Why?
I'm bored. I got nothing going on, and I just wanted to hack my wife.
Because everybody's like, a few people are like, this seems personal now. I'm like, I think it's someone who, it's very funny when someone sees something go viral or whatever, or they assume that comedians have more than they do. It's like the same thing when we were on Video and Trial.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoa, what are you doing riding the bus? I'm like, you get paid more at your fucking job at the Dollar General than we did for Video on Trial. So
I frequently get that where people think I'm very rich.
yeah.
And I'm like, do I really give off that vibe? Just because you see me in certain... Also, every video I've made online is just me. It's not a production company or anything. And
Yeah. I guess because we
I'm
travel,
fine.
but
I'm
but we
fine.
also travel small places where we're also getting paid to go there, and we don't have kids, and we don't own homes, and we don't have savings. Anyway,
There's some in there.
listen, if you're a hacker,
Stop!
stop it. Because guess and one of the things was like, oh, I need money for I guess fake Julia was asking for money for a present for my niece. Bitch, I don't have a niece.
Yeah, and she's not getting any presents, even if she was
Yeah,
real.
and even if I did have one, I would never give her a present.
I would never. Not
It's
for
just
a niece.
it's very stupid, and I don't know how to stop it because it's like it's a whole new Gmail, and even if they got that shut down, well then he could just make another one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do. If anybody is an expert,
I looked up what you have to do. I'll talk to you after. It's actually more intense than you think.
oh god,
If you look up...
do I have to fight this man in a park?
Oh, well, yeah, that's what Google says. There's a Google Park in every city, and you're someone
have to fight your
impersonating you.
hacker?
You have to fight your hacker, and if they win, they get you. And
They
if
get to
you
be
lose,
you.
They get to be you.
And then I have to be him.
Yep.
And then I start trying to hack
Hacking.
other people.
Other Julia, this is a Black Mirror episode that you could write easily. Well, yeah, it's actually not bad. No, you have to like report it to like the criminal. Like you have to report it as a crime, basically.
It is a crime. He's
Yeah.
impersonating me.
And they have to like start cracking it wide open. But the only problem is it's Julia Comedy, and so it's not really your full name. He's kind of impersonating you.
But he's taking he's still signing off as me and messaging all my contacts.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, it's an intense thing to do. We'll look into it after.
If you're listening, I'm going to report you so bad. You are going down, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever you are. You're going down.
Julia's going to come to your place and John Wick the hell out of you through your own fucking table.
I'm going to John Wick everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Literally, just for fucking shits and giggles.
Everyone's
And
getting
you
a
get John Wicked. And you get John Wicked.
Once a year, it's like a new Christmas.
Everybody gets a Wick'ing.
Julia comes to your house and gives you a Wick'ing. You get a hot Wick'ing through your house. And that's the new holiday.
Oh,
so
God, that would feel good. If
put
I
up
could
your
just,
collapsible tables
if I could
because
just wick everybody.
Julia is coming to wick the town.
Wick the town wed.
Wick it wed. She's wicking across America.
Wickety wickety whack.
That's right.
Well, that was stupid, what I just said. Matt, what's stupid with you?
I was trying to think of one. I don't know. I had a bunch of stupid. The dog thing is stupid. Oh, yeah. I don't like the way she looks. It bothers me because I would hold her head and I'm like, she's perfect. You look perfect. And now she's got this fucking wound and it's depressing and sad.
Oh, but she's still perfect. We have to
She's
love things
fine.
even with their imperfections.
I know. It just bothers me. I just want her to be perfect all the time.
There's an extra lump at the front that I'm noticing
There's
now.
fuzz in there, I think. She was mucking about in
Yeah,
her
like do you
bed.
feel? Oh, you
Listen,
know what?
stop
That's
it.
fine. Okay.
It's fine. Also, I don't know, half the Christmas lights not working.
That's
what
your
else
well, that was
stupid
stupid.
thing happened this week?
Last week, I feel like some really stupid things happened to you.
I did like a rough show. It was kind of stupid. Only 6 people showed up. It was Thanksgiving weekend, so everyone was out of town, and you're like, this is a complete wash of a fucking.
We did run. We ran a 10K. We did the turkey trot on
that was
Thanksgiving, which was the best. What's stupid on our part though is right after, because what I like to do after a run is get a beer.
That's all you want after a 10K is to have a nice cold one.
And I will say it's kind of stupid because any other race you've ever done, it's like, oh, there's like a beer tent after, or there's something.
The Nike Go Run, it was 10K. They were begging for you to get drunk at 8 a.m.
Oh, because it was like 6 a.m. or something.
It was so early, and I got, I think, a beer before I got my banana. And like, that's the thing. The banana is the first thing you get after a long run. And they were like, here's a beer.
Yep.
And then they gave me some Beats headphones. I was like, well, this is the greatest event I've ever been to.
Yeah. So you come off and then they gave us a fucking can of water and I got a Clementine, which was great. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we're downtown. I'm like, ooh, let's go to Grand Central Market. And then we were going to go to Egg Slut. We were going to get a beer. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Literally everything's shut. And then we were looking on the map, like actual addicts, being like, there's got to be something open. And we're like, this place says it's open. And then it was 10:54. So we waited until 11 until it opened, but it never opened.
Yep. Just me, you, and a homeless person out literally waiting outside that place. And the homeless person gave up before we did.
Honestly, she did.
Yeah. It was very odd. The best part about that race was the goat. There was a goat there for some reason. No one knew why. And I was running the race and I caught up to the goat. I was like, how fast is this goat going, first of all? And I was running beside it for a while. I'm like, this goat's hoofing it, dare I say.
The goat's hoofing it.
And his little owner was there, and it was just an odd,
odd
week.
There's pictures of me that you took of me near the finish line, and it looks like the goat is like in my business.
Yeah.
I don't even
the goat got out there. Didn't know a goat could run a race. I think he's trying to do like an Air Bud thing, but with a goat. And what better town to do that in than LA? Could be a movie soon.
Well, before we sign off on this podcast, why don't we just end it with something that just was warm and fuzzy?
I don't know.
You don't know. I will say something that's warm and fuzzy. Obviously my birthday, and that we've already talked about all that, and also just not to mention the night before, or 2 nights before, a huge group came out to a brewery. I love my friends. It was really nice.
It was nice.
We decorated the house the other day.
Oh, that is both of our warm and fuzzy for sure. My half my Christmas lights aren't working, but I got them replaced, and I got the Christmas lights going outside. You got the tree up, and
we put the little tree up, and we put it in a different area. We have like, our little fir tree candle going, and I made mulled wine.
It was very cute.
It was nice, and I feel like Saturday. That's kind of what everybody did, because then we went over to our friend Alana and Norm's, and they had their tree up, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
There's nothing better than a festive living room, I tell you. It just makes you feel great.
And quick shout out to power listener Chris Bush, because he did donate $25 to the Turkey Trot, which was we were raising money for the Midnight Mission, which helps homelessness in LA. So thank you.
That's huge, Chris Bush. He's in Vegas
for your
right
donation.
now.
He's in Vegas,
having a blast.
He's going
to the Grand Canyon.
He is.
I said I was going to tell him to try to take a big hot piss in it for me. Tell him Matt sent you. I would also like to shout out somebody who commented on, because I guess these podcasts go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, you were saying.
And people will listen to this podcast just on my YouTube channel, which I guess, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And this user, AYY, I guess A. Commented, I like the podcast. I'm using Chill One Faux Sundays. And that's exactly what we're going for.
I'm using Chill One Faux Sundays is literally our vibe.
Yeah, nothing too complicated. You can kind of have it in the background. Another listener said it was a good cleaning podcast. Daryl Hines, I think it was.
Yeah, we're just...
That's what we're going for, man. We're not breaking any fucking records here.
Not yet. We might.
Maybe if you're in the mood, tell your friends. You're like, if they're ever like, what's a chill podcast that I can just kind of just have on the background? You're like, well, this one you're going to love. And it's about 2 idiots and a dog. And the worst robot movie of all time.
Chappie.
Oh, yeah, Chappie.
I keep searching for Chappie on the planes, and I cannot find Chappie.
You'll get it someday. In the meantime, we're gonna go get dinner going. And
Matt, Matt's gonna be at the Dead Crow in North Carolina.
Wilmington, North Carolina, this Saturday and Friday, December 1st and 2nd, 4 shows. I don't know what it's going to be like. I got a Facebook ad, and it's doing well. So who knows? Maybe
I
people
honestly
will
think
come
it's
out.
going to be good for you.
We'll see. I'm going to be selling merch too. I love taking loud hot pisses at Costco magnets. So
See,
those are going to be there as
already we love it. And me, you can find out what I'm doing, Julia Comedy. Actually, what? That's yeah. Sorry. Wow. My Instagram, Julia Comedy. Also, I think this fucker started to compromise my website. It's just a whole thing. This guy's really infiltrating. So yeah, Julia Comedy on Instagram, Julia Comedian on Facebook. We're putting the good vibes out there. Everything's going to work out. I love you all. I hope you all had a good holiday. And yeah. Oh my gosh. Are we going to podcast next week? Because we're going to be in Canada.
We'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
If not, we'll make the next one doubly funny.
Yeah, it'll be.
This one was pretty good.
I thought this one was great.
There we go. That makes it up. As long as the follow-up is good, then I think people will appreciate that. So we'll be back maybe next week, maybe the next one after that.
We love you so much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want with Matt and Julia? Is this what you want?